Urban counties are safer than rural and suburban counties in the United States. Why won't we admit it? Let me explain. When you think of danger in a place, you probably think of gun deaths, murders, which is quantified as homicides per 100,000 people. And so you've seen lists like this, which are a bunch of cities or counties with cities in them. They're urban counties. And that is true, especially for black men. The lethality of guns in urban centers is a horrifying epidemic. That's true. It's unconscionable, it's immoral, it deserves action. But that's simply not how most, or even relatively many Americans die. Americans die of things like heart disease, cancer, accidents, of which car accidents are a major contributor. And almost all of those deaths are contributed to by lifestyle. And so when you look at things like heart disease by state, you can get into granular and regional. It's southern and it's particularly rural counties. Suburban counties too, often because it's a heavier reliance on driving. Cars have been getting safer over time in the United States, but there's still a similar number of car-related deaths every year as there are gun-related deaths. And gun-related deaths aren't just homicides, that also include suicides and other accidents. More to the point, when you include suicides, there are more gun deaths in rural counties than urban counties, because the prevalence of gun-related suicide is far higher in rural counties. In part, it's access to gun, it's cultural, it also involves the loneliness epidemic. Americans living in rural counties are slightly more likely to have long-term loneliness than those living in urban, and the share popped in post-pandemic in urban more than rural because it was at a lower base. Put lifestyle, driving, access to guns, loneliness together, when you chart out rates of death per 100,000 people, you see that the gap between rural and urban has been growing, and suburban is somewhere in the middle depending on how urban or rural it is. This is not a diss track. I grew up in a rural small town that I adore. All of us should live where we want to live, so do not misinterpret me. My point is that leaving a city for safety is like leaving a beach because of shark attacks. They are very small, very prominent, very loud, very publicized acts of violence that are terrible, but they are not representative of the trend. You want to live a healthier lifestyle, you need to be with friends, you need to walk more, and have economic mobility. But to be clear, for some people that will be in a different place. Everyone's story is different. Don't yell at me in the comments about that. But I want you to know that